Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We take mountains of research, complex documents, and specialized source material, and we distill it all down.
Right down to the pure crystalline essence you need.
Exactly. To get you quickly but thoroughly well-informed. Today we are tapping directly into a domain where geology meets, well, some highly specialized spirituality.
That's a good way to put it.
We're exploring how intention is impressed upon matter and how ancient history informs a burgeoning modern practice.
That's right. Our source material today is a comprehensive look at the philosophy, the informational framework, and just the sheer scope of services provided by Crystals by Rob.
And it is a huge scope.
Oh, it's massive. And this material, it details an extremely organized approach to crystal energy work. It spans everything from, basic product collections to these complex, multidimensional healing modalities.
And a surprisingly sophisticated global distribution network, which we will get to. And the scale of this operation is genuinely stunning. But we're not here just to, look at the catalog. We're drilling down into the absolute foundational steps that, according to the source, make all of those advanced specialized practices even possible.
Precisely. The core mission, as they define it, is that it is far more than just an online store. It's explicitly presented as a sanctuary, a community, and an educational platform dedicated to fostering personal growth, spiritual awakening, and holistic well-being through the power of the natural world.
That really sets the philosophical baseline immediately, doesn't it? If your goal is spiritual awakening and well-being using the natural world, you need powerful, reliable, and highly refined tools.
You do.
So our goal today is clear: to unpack the central foundational rituals suggested by the site, namely how to cleanse and program crystals.
And why these practices are not just suggestions.
No. They're presented as non-negotiable prerequisites for the serious crystal worker. I mean, if you want to use a crystal for, say, something as advanced as entity removal, you absolutely cannot just pick it up and get started.
The preparation of the tool dictates the quality of the outcome.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with a foundational philosophy that justifies this whole system of maintenance and ritual. So, looking at the mission, the core belief here is that crystals aren't just inert geological specimens.
No, not at all.
They're described as offering a powerful tool for self-discovery, for healing, and for connection to universal energies. That shifts the focus immediately from, a decorative item to a specialized energetic instrument.
And this whole framework, it relies entirely on the premise that these stones have unique energetic properties in ancient history. The crystal is viewed as possessing a permanent, inherent energy signature.
Right.
So cleansing and programming are, therefore, the mechanisms designed by practitioners to manage and direct that signature efficiently. I mean, if you don't accept the inherent energy, you don't need the ritual.
That distinction is key, isn't it? Cleansing is seen as resetting the tool's memory.
Wiping the slate clean.
And programming is assigning its current operational mandate. Now, to understand why this preparation is like a matter of absolute necessity, we have to look at the services they offer.
Yes.
Because they immediately show the high stakes involved. We are looking at practices that involve extremely specialized energy manipulation, far beyond simple meditation support.
Exactly. The totality of these energy healing sessions, it defines the required precision of the energetic ecosystem. When the services involve complex, multidimensional work, the integrity of the crystal tool becomes a critical failure point if the preparation is skipped.
Okay, let's review some of these.
Okay.
Because they are specialized. We see services like the Angel Tuning Fork Sound Healing Session.
So that incorporates specific auditory elements, sound healing.
And then you get into the truly specialized services like the Arcturian Reiki Attunement 420D Frequency Certification.
We have to pause on that specific terminology.
Me too.
Because to the learner, to you listening, these phrases might sound like pure jargon. But within this system, they define the exact level of precision required for the crystal.
Okay, so break that down.
If we analyze the source's implication, the 420D frequency certification suggests working with a specific vibrational state, the 420, across multiple dimensions. The D implies awareness beyond our standard three-dimensional reality.
So if the crystal is expected to anchor or transmit energy across dimensions, that exponentially increases the need for energetic precision.
Massively.
It can't be carrying the energetic residue of, a bad day you had or a previous conflicting program.
Precisely. If a crystal is meant to hold a 420D frequency, it must be energetically pure and dedicated solely to that ultra-specific task. Any residual or muddy energy from past use, say an old protection program, would compromise the clarity and the specific dimensional integrity of the attunement.
So this advanced terminology is essentially the justification for the rigorous cleansing ritual.
It is. It's why it matters so much.
I have to push back on this complexity for a moment, though. If the stakes are this high working in multiple dimensions, aiming for hyperspecific frequencies, how can a business guarantee the perfection of a natural object, like a crystal?
That's a fair question.
Doesn't the sheer monumentality of a service like Christic Arcturian chakra unification attunement and entity removal suggest that the tools must be flawless?
It absolutely suggests perfection is the goal, if not always the reality. And that's why the ritual becomes the quality control mechanism.
I see.
And the inclusion of entity removal implies dealing with parasitic, negative, or low vibrational energies.
Right, some heavy stuff.
Very heavy. The crystal, used as a tool for this, is expected to absorb or deflect those energies. Therefore, the subsequent cleansing ritual has to be powerful enough to fully neutralize and release that potentially harmful energetic residue.
So it's a much bigger deal than just clearing a stone you used for meditation.
Far, far exceeding those requirements.
That makes the process of preparation highly consequential. If you're conducting aura balancing crystal grid distant healing,
the grid?
The geometrical arrangement of multiple stones is predicated on those stones working synergistically. If one stone in that grid is energetically contaminated because the cleansing step was compromised,
the whole thing collapses.
The entire grid collapses, or worse, it transmits an unintended conflicting energy to the distant client.
The grid is only as strong as its weakest, most contaminated component. The necessity of cleansing is literally driven by the scope of potential damage if the preparation is insufficient.
This necessity for perfect preparation, it requires training. You can't just hand someone a tower crystal and ask them to perform entity removal.
No. Which brings us to the extensive educational ecosystem provided by the platform. They aren't just selling the tools, they're building the practitioners.
Right. We see instructional guides like creating your Book of Shadows, which is a framework for ritual knowledge.
And hand mudras, detailing specific physical gestures to channel or focus energy.
Even space clearing, removing environmental residue. That shows that the preparation extends far beyond the crystal itself.
Yes. The practitioner is being trained to create an energetically sterile environment for the crystal to operate in.
And the blog categories, they just confirm the sheer breadth of required knowledge for a dedicated crystal worker. We see abstract concepts like auras and chakras,
mixed with practical application in rituals and manifestation.
They even dedicate sections to geological properties and history of crystals, which signals that the physical and historical context of the stone is considered inseparable from its metaphysical potential.
Right. And the dedicated series on crystal witchcraft also confirms the integration of crystal work into broader esoteric or ritualistic paths. This isn't just a casual hobby. It's presented as a disciplined spiritual practice.
So all this rich, multi-layered education, from geology to high-dimensional attunements, it all funnels back to one critical foundational skill.
One place.
If the student is meant to perform complex, high-stakes services, the very first thing they must master is the maintenance and activation of their primary tools. Where does the absolute foundational practice of cleansing fit into this curriculum?
It has to be taught first.
It's the energetic hygiene class that precedes the advanced surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So we move now to the mechanical instructions provided by the source material. The platform explicitly highlights these two practices, confirming their foundational importance.
Yes, there's a specific, very visible blog category titled Crystal Programming and Cleansing. Learn how to cleanse and program your crystals.
That positioning is deliberate. It confirms that cleansing and programming are the indispensable initial steps, the activation sequence, before a crystal can be utilized for any higher level service.
Whether that's creating an intention bowl or performing crystal Reiki, it all starts there.
Let's break down the cleansing requirement. Why is it necessary? Because crystals are believed to be sponges, right? Holding the energy they encounter.
They are. So cleansing is the ritual purification to ensure the energetic slate is blank. And the platform provides a perfect example of the mechanism used for this, selenite.
Right. Selenite crystal is explicitly listed in their collections and is noted for its purifying properties.
This stone holds a really unique position within the ecosystem, as it is believed to be inherently self-cleaning and, crucially, capable of purifying other stones.
So if I, as a practitioner, have just conducted an intense energetic protection from negative energy session, and my tools have absorbed all that residue, I would place those tools on or near the selenite. The selenite acts as the energetic disinfectant, neutralizing those past energies, thereby resetting the tools to a neutral, usable state.
It is the operational failsafe. Without this mechanism, the contamination risk would be too high to conduct subsequent rituals. The cleansing ensures the crystal is operating at its purest, most neutral potential, ready for its next assignment.
Okay, but wait. If selenite is doing all this heavy lifting, absorbing and neutralizing the residual energy from entity removal or intense protection work, is there a limit to its capacity?
That's a really good question.
The source doesn't seem to mention a required cleansing ritual for the selenite itself. How does the business guarantee the selenite isn't simply saturated and rendered ineffective over time, forcing constant replacement? Is the guarantee just built into the inherent nature of that specific stone?
That's a critical point of inquiry for the advanced learner. And within this belief system, stones like selenite are often considered high vibration and self-regenerating. Meaning their unique structure prevents energy saturation. They are the energetic perpetual cleaning mechanism. However, for the business to rely on this process for global quality control, ensuring that every crystal sold can be effectively reset, it elevates selenite's purifying power to a fundamental, non-negotiable law of the energetic system.
I see. It's a core assumption necessary for the whole system to function at scale. So once a slate is clean, we move to the assignment phase, programming.
And programming is essentially the focusing of the crystal's inherent energy toward a specific desired outcome. We see the concept directly tied to goal setting in other educational sections, like instructions on creating intention bowls and articles focused on manifestation.
So programming is the ritual act of taking that clean, neutral energy and giving it a job, a specific energetic GPS coordinate to aim for.
Exactly.
The creation of an intention bowl, for example, is a formalized, contained ritual where crystals are selected, cleansed, and then programmed to hold or amplify a continuous desired outcome, maybe focusing on abundance or health.
And the existence of the bowls collection, these stone-shaped vessels crafted from various gemstones, confirms they are physical containment structures designed specifically to hold this programmed, focused energy. They are specialized energetic batteries or caches.
And we can link this programming concept directly back to a monetized service, the angelic amethyst energy attunement. This is essentially programming performed by an expert for the client. The client is purchasing the outcome of a highly specific energetic task, the alignment of their field or their amethyst stone to a specific angelic energy source.
This demonstrates that programming is not just a personal exercise. It's a skilled, valuable application of knowledge. The expert is able to perform a high-level directional intention setting, the attunement, that requires precise energetic control.
Which starts, of course, with the perfectly cleansed and prepared crystal.
Always. The foundation of purification and focusing is what allows the monetization of expertise.
The necessity of programming leads us to a fascinating area, how the physical characteristics of the crystal dictate how it should be programmed.
And therefore, what kind of service it's best suited for.
Right. The site provides a blog dedicated to the properties of the shapes of crystals, establishing that form is inextricably linked to intended function.
If the crystal is a transmitter of focused energy, the shape determines the broadcast pattern. The practitioner must cleanse the crystal and then program the energy flow based on that specific geometry.
Let's use modern analogies to understand the function of these shapes based on the collections listed.
Good idea.
First, we have towers, often referred to as crystal points, which are highly regarded. In energy work, the implied function of a tower is directional focus.
Right. So you program it to project energy outwards, amplifying an intention, like a laser pointer.
So if a tower is a laser pointer, programming involves setting an extremely narrow, precise target.
And cleansing a tower would involve ensuring the energy flow through that point is unobstructed and free of any lateral distortion. The intent is concentrated and aimed.
Okay, then you have spheres, renowned for their unique metaphysical properties and healing capabilities.
A sphere is the energetic opposite of a tower. It has no sharp directionality.
So if the tower is a laser pointer,
the sphere is the Wi-Fi router.
Okay, that makes sense.
Its function is to broadcast energy universally and equally in all directions, promoting a sense of completeness, wholeness, or unity. Programming a sphere means establishing a generalized energetic field or universal intention, a field that encompasses the user or an entire room, rather than a focused beam.
And the cleansing ritual for a sphere must ensure the entire radiating surface is unmarred, allowing for pure isotropic distribution.
Exactly.
And finally, the bowls. We've already established their connection to intention bowls.
Yes, the bowl is designed for containment. It's like an energetic cache or a battery. Programming a bowl is about creating a secure, energetic vessel where intentions are stored, gathered, or mixed.
And cleansing ensures the container itself is sterile before the intention ingredients are placed inside.
Hmm.
And we can't forget free-form shaped crystals, which are unique in their design. The programming of these would likely be highly personalized, right?
Very. Catering to a specific unconventional flow that respects the stone's asymmetrical nature, making the practitioner's skill paramount.
The required skill set is complex then.
Mm.
The crystal worker must harmonize the assigned intention, the programming, with the inherent function, the shape.
Which leads us directly to the concept of the crystal's inherent properties, what it naturally brings to the table, regardless of the assigned program.
This is a vital distinction for the learner, isn't it? The difference between the crystal's permanent operating system and the specific applications you install.
It is.
For example, agate is described as inherently providing grounding, stabilizing, and balancing properties.
So agate's inherent geological structure, it's a stable base frequency, is its operating system, its OS. It is always grounding and balancing. You cannot program an agate to be chaotic and highly flighty. You must program within its stable remit.
So cleansing removes temporary user data or residual programs, but the OS remains intact.
Exactly.
Now, contrast that with actinolite. This stone is described with a very specific, almost technical function. It strengthens the immune system, stimulates the kidney, liver, and spleen function.
This is different. Actinolite is like a piece of hardware that comes with a specific, built-in application focused entirely on physiological stimulus.
So you're not installing a new app.
No, programming actinolite isn't installing a new application. It's maximizing the efficiency of the existing built-in application, directing that specific physiological focus toward the user's need, or perhaps boosting its existing stimulus. The practitioner uses the stone's nature, not overwrites it.
We also see geodes highlighted for their grounding properties. This reinforces the idea that some stones inherently possess a natural base frequency.
Right. Cleansing them ensures the current program is not corrupted, but the base intention of grounding remains the foundational strength of the stone.
The programming ritual, therefore, is not a generic command.
No, it's an active collaboration with the crystal's established energetic blueprint.
Before we move into the business aspect, there is this powerful archetypal programming template mentioned in the collections, the Moon's collection. This is dedicated to the moon as the archetype of the divine feminine.
This elevates the programming beyond simple intent to cosmic alignment. If a practitioner uses a moon-shaped crystal, they are cleansing and programming it to harmonize not just with their personal will, but with energies of intuition, cyclical change, or nurturing the massive, enduring power of the divine feminine.
So it demonstrates the depth of sophistication in the programming process, drawing on celestial mythos to inform the ritual.
It does.
So the expert crystal worker must understand geology, geometries, and archetypes simply to execute the foundational steps of cleansing and programming correctly. Now we step back to look at the macro perspective. These complex, high-stakes rituals, cleansing, and programming are supported by a massive global and highly commercial infrastructure.
Yeah.
The ancient practice of energy work has been fully monetized and standardized.
And the monetization of ritual is clearly evident. Services like the angelic amethyst energy attunement are offered for a very accessible price of $30 USD.
Which positions these high-level energetic services as standardized, purchasable products. It makes the esoteric practice consumable by a wide audience.
It does. And the Crystals by Rob subscription is a brilliant business model, but it also reflects a constant demand for new, cleansed, and effective crystals.
Right. It suggests that the best practice requires a continuous supply of tools, or at least a continuous process of purification and reprogramming, which cements the importance of those foundational rituals.
And this demand leads us directly to the massive global logistics required to support this practice. The source material provides a mind-boggling list of countries and associated currencies, illustrating the global distribution footprint.
This isn't just shipping within North America. This is an operation that ensures the integrity of the crystal's energy, once programmed, must survive a journey across radically different continents, supply chains, and environmental conditions.
Look at the examples. You see standard European currencies, of course, but then the logistics must handle transactions and shipping to highly specific varied locations like Afghanistan, AFN.
Czechia, CZK, and Mongolia, MNT.
You're dealing with unique postal systems and customs regulations in places like Tuvalu, AUD, and other specialized territories.
This vast logistical footprint supported by modern payment methods like American Express, Apple Pay, PayPal, Shop Pay. It highlights a fascinating tension, doesn't it?
It does.
The purity and energetic integrity of the ritual are now utterly dependent on the stability of 21st century global supply chains and digital finance.
And this convergence forces the standardization of the ritual. If a crystal is cleansed and programmed in the originating warehouse, that preparation must be verifiable and hold up until it reaches the buyer in, say, Ulaanbaatar or Ascension Island.
So the integrity of the crystal's assigned program has become a global quality control standard.
It has to be.
It's almost absurd when you think about it. The process of using Apple Pay to purchase a crystal needed for entity removal means that this ancient ritualistic practice has been fully integrated into the hyper-modern commercial sphere.
The efficacy of the ritual is now supported by instantaneous digital transactions and robust global shipping.
Yeah.
And that global scale implies a universal recognition, or at least a universal desire for these practices. The need for energetic purification and focus is apparently a need that transcends national borders, local spiritual traditions, and currency differences.
This international reach requires massive public outreach, which is why the platform is so deeply integrated into contemporary media channels.
Exactly. Reviewing the general links, we see awards, certificates, and even a page for podcasts. This shows a commitment to external validation and public discourse, positioning the practitioners as verified experts.
And the social media presence, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, YouTube, ensures that the critical information about crystal programming and cleansing is disseminated efficiently,
making the methodology accessible to a new generation of learners globally.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner? It means that the complex, high-stakes energy work from 420D attunements to entity removal requires a meticulous two-part foundation of ritual: the purification and the focusing of the crystal. This practice is formalized, globally distributed, and relies on the practitioner's ability to maintain the energetic perfection of their tools in a highly commercial, high-traffic world.
The preparation is the professionalism.
So, to summarize our deep dive.
Well, the comprehensive framework provided by Crystals by Rob establishes that the power of crystals hinges entirely on the preliminary steps of maintenance.
Right.
Purification, or cleansing, often executed using self-regenerating stones like selenite, resets the crystal's memory to a neutral state. And programming, or intention setting, linked closely to manifestation, then focuses that energy for a specific goal.
But always respecting the crystal's inherent nature.
Always. Whether it's the stable grounding of agate or the directional focus of a tower shape.
The required skill is not just belief, but technical execution, ensuring the right stone with the right shape is perfectly cleansed before being assigned its specific task.
However, we did identify one collection that kind of challenges the entire premise of a clean slate.
We did. And that's the source materials mention of included quartz, varieties of quartz that naturally have other mineral inclusions.
So if the goal of cleansing is the absolute purification of the tool, what does the practitioner do when the crystal is intrinsically geologically impure?
What happens when the crystal is already a complex energetic blend from its very formation?
This is the ultimate philosophical tension for the advanced worker. You have a stone that is inherently programmed by nature to hold multiple layered energies. This complexity prevents a simple wipe and requires a shift in approach.
So the practitioner has to move from simply cleaning the memory
to actively managing the geological complexity.
It forces the practitioner to become a collaborator with the stone's layered reality, learning to program the quartz component while perhaps utilizing the energy of the inclusion simultaneously.
It's not just about cleaning, it's about conducting the pre-existing orchestra of energies.
Something profound to consider as you explore the nuances of purity in the natural world.